Okay, this is a test. Stop talking video. Okay. That was the thing on the screen. I just got in from, let's see, it's 10:30 a.m. Yeah. Man, my hands are cold. Really cold. I just walked down to half a block to mail a packet of photographs to my daughter LaDonna, and I'm keeping two back. Well, let's talk about one of them, not that one. uh, talk about this photo. Let's see. This is my father, the short one, on my right. Is that your right? I don't know. I don't know how any of this stuff works. It's all Greek to me. Okay, that is the taller one. Is Hugo, and the other one is my father, Jim. If you think it's kind of strange that I would say Hugo, that's because after all these years, I can't remember. Anyway, so my father, this was 1927, September 1st, and this is just before. Well, I don't know. My father looks kind of short there. Anyway, Hugo and my father both graduated from St. Vincent's grade school, the same one that I graduated from, but a few years later, of course. And I don't think my father wanted. I know once he got to Conception Seminary, he didn't want to be a priest. Maybe he'd have liked to have been a priest, but maybe he didn't like the seminary. I don't know. But he wrote home and told his parents, "I don't want to be here. I want to come home." And they said, "No, you're the one." So he finally walked home. Anyway, Hugo, good grief, why can't I remember the name? I remembered it for years when I didn't need to remember it. So, anyway, my father and Hugo. Went to the seminary, and Hugo graduated and became a priest, a Vincentian priest, and I was an only child, and it was a large, family, the Howard family. Wow, what a lot of cousins. And I fell at the top, range. I was born in 1941, March. So according to the way Republicans have thought in the past, since too cold. I got sidetracked. Anyway, guess who turned up to be the pastor of St. Vincent's grade school, the one that both of these young men went to and graduated from. And my father's friend. Now all these families were, there was my father had 6 brothers and 3 sisters. Hugo had a large family. I had some pictures. They got. I was moving all the time. I had to, had to get rid of some stuff. The Boy Scouts back then, the things that when I was a Boy Scout, that little thing you wore around your neck or whatever, But these things were, they were humongous. I would like to save, I just couldn't, was moving, trying to stay ahead of the law. Just kidding. He's not kidding at all. So anyway, I go to St. Vincent's grade school for 5th and 6th grade, and the 7th grade, I think the Catholic schools got by because they were small, with not having to have a 2nd grade or a 7th grade. So a few years after I graduated, the Board of Education or whoever made those decisions and whatever, they decided no, that you can't do that. So you have to have 5th, 6th, and 7th. Anyway, so Father Hugo, my father's best friend when they were kids, I'm not going to tell you the rest of this story. I'll come back to it sometime. By the way, I'm recording this. Let me give you the high point, though. Father Huber, you may remember the name from the news. What it would take that you would remember a Catholic priest in Dallas, Texas? Yes, on that horrible day, I was doing a radio program that was broadcast around the world on WRUL radio, and I was doing the program weekly, and it was about amateur radio and science tied in with shortwave radio propagation conditions, not propagating babies or whatever, but radio signals and all this kind of stuff. And I was doing a radio program that was, broadcast around the world, Europe, Africa, and Latin America over WRUL radio. My program was not on that day. It was broadcast about, depend on the propagation conditions. So sometimes it was, for a few months, it was twice a day. And then for the other months, it was 3 days a week that it was broadcast. The same program, each week, or not the same one every week, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I was doing some shortwave listening or doing something, and WRUL radio broke in and said, a news report that shots have been fired at the presidential motorcade in Dallas, Texas. And I switched right away to CBS, Walter Cronkite. That was the man to watch for news. And then, the information started coming out. I found out something, I guess, that I wasn't the pessimist that maybe it's just because I couldn't stand to be that. But I think I always sort of looked, okay, this is not good, this is whatever. But as the reports came in, in the beginning it was like, well, shots are fired, we're not sure, and whatever. Then then we were waiting around the world for the results of, what happened. And then a priest came out, and the news media right away, went to him, Father, started asking questions, and that was Oscar Huber. And he said, that he had given the last rites to President Kennedy and that that President Kennedy had died. So I know, by that, I was, well, I don't think he had started the idea of the Peace Corps, and I had tried to get into the Peace Corps. But anyway, I think an entire group of Americans, people took it in different ways. I had a friend who belonged to, I can't remember the name of that. Anyway, a secret Republican right-wing group. What in the hell was that called? And he called me up on the telephone. The only one that called me, he called me up on the telephone and said, "Have you heard?" And now he hated Kennedy. He didn't think that Kennedy wrote a book, and I'm sure Kennedy probably didn't write the book. That's skipping me too. I should have started making this video sooner. But probably if you go back and look at my old videos, you'll find out that I did. It's there someplace. By the way, right now, Howard's Notebook and this whole site sucks right now. For a number of reasons. My equipment is not what it should be now. I'm not what I should be now. I'm going to be 83 in March. But anyway, Glenn called. Now he was a shortwave listener too, and he was younger than I was. But anyway, he called and he said, "Oh, and I ripped into him, and then hung up on him." But we were shortwave listeners, and we were in the Ground Observer Corps, and we were in civil defense together, and all kinds of stuff. And anyway, I'm going to have to scan this thing. It says on it, Hugo and Jim, September 1st. It looks like 1970, but there's a 2 in there. So it's 1927. Oh, right now, let me get back to that. And I've covered that in the past. I should have checked to make sure this video is recording audio. Oh man. I better make this quick. I better stop this road that I was on and just tell you, right now on Howard's Notebook, things suck, and I suck. I may get a little bit better because I'm going to go through cataract surgery on both eyes, and that should make a world of difference here for the last however long I have to go. But right now I don't have much money because one thing, I have health insurance, and it's paying for almost all of it. But there's also, with the bladder problems that I have or whatever, my plan is to, take an Uber back and forth to those because I don't want to be delayed. And when you're waiting to be picked up by the service that will pick you up, of course they charge you too, but they don't charge anyway, you know. So anyway, right now this is probably going to suck. I hope there is audio. I should have checked that. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes, and I don't know why though. I'm going to purchase Manicam, the new version that's out, and I don't have it yet. It's only, I think, $70 or something like that. But with the other things that I have to, you know, transportation and all this kind of stuff, and then some other stuff that I need to do. So, you know, right now I don't want to take out like $70 because I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. I'm not sure exactly what the glasses and they're going to be pretty thick, even after the cataract surgery. But I'm going to get Manicam, and I ran Manicam before, but during the 2 weeks or so, well, it's been longer than that, I guess, that everything went to hell here, you know, and so I will be going to Manicam, and things should be a lot better, a lot better, because this new improved version. And I was basically trying to do something for a couple weeks here and putting something out, but I'm not sure. But when I can go to Manicam, the improved version, if I'm lucky, I think I could do much better in all of the past videos that I've done. Okay, I better stop this because it's driving me crazy, wondering whether I actually, and if I didn't record it, I'm not going to go through this again. My throat hurts and everything hurts. So cross your fingers.